Is a little on the broad side, but we now have a new tornado warning out for northern parts of Scott County and western side of Harrison County. So that is a brand new tornado warning that has just been issued for northern parts of Scott County and western sections of Harrison County. Here we go with that storm that is on top of the Corinth area as we speak. And I'm going to get the radar set to show you that new tornado warning that only covers literally just a few miles. Sadieville, we are not included in this, but it is just to our north. It does not include Berry into northwestern parts of Harrison County, but that tornado warning will now go until 6:30 as well. So that's a very short fuse tornado warning that has just been issued for a part of Harrison and Scott County. And what we are seeing with that is that bit of rotation that continues to work its way across sections of northern Scott County as of now. That's worst of that storm. Looks like it is just to the northwest of the Stonewall area, and that's what we're going to continue to see with that. It has a bit of spin with it, and it's going to continue to work its way off to the. So we look at a map here. This is the only area that has the tornado warning. It is literally just for a couple of miles of real estate. And the spin that is showing up with this is fairly broad right now, but it is there nonetheless. And it's going to try to work its way just to the north of Sadieville and get into far northern parts of Scott County and western parts of Harrison County. We're up close and personal on this spin. May have tightened up just a little bit here. So you see the brighter greens, and now we're starting to see just a little bit of pink showing up. So we may have a little better circulation with this storm that is almost to Interstate 75. So right on top of the Scott and Grant County line on Interstate 75, let's say between the Stonewall area and Corinth, those are areas where you need to be in your safe shelter immediately for the possibility of a tornado. There is enough spin on this that the National Weather Service out of Louisville decided to go ahead and post that tornado warning a little farther to the south, including areas of far northern Scott County around the Hinton area. Here's Interstate 75. Here's our circulation center that is associated with this storm that is working its way right on top of Interstate 75 here over the next maybe 5 minutes or a little quicker than that. That bad boy will be just across Interstate 75 in a matter of minutes. Also, right on top of 25. So folks here living from Corinth down towards Stonewall and just to the north of Sadieville, got to be on guard. Hinton area around 356, dealing with the possibility that this spin in the atmosphere does not mean there's a tornado, but the thunderstorm itself has some spin with it. So you've got that tornado warning that is out for areas north of Sadieville, and our Defender Radar Network is tracking this as what's known as a mesocyclone. It says, I see enough rotation in this. When you see the little spin here, that says I see enough rotation within this storm, but I'm not seeing enough to where the radar thinks it is producing a full-blown tornado. It has the potential, though. Here's that tornado warning that is out for parts of Scott County and far western sections of Harrison County. Included in this particular area of tornado warning, small piece of real estate, 8,496 folks are impacted by that current tornado warning. And behind this, here's why I'm thinking that eventually these storms are going to overtake whatever spin is out there. Look at all the thunderstorms that are lining up here to the west of where we have that tornado warning. You get back into Owen County. You get back into Henry County. You get into northern parts of the Franklin County area, into Georgetown, northern Scott County. You're getting thunder and lightning, but that's not from the possible tornadic thunderstorm that is to the north of Sadieville and into the western part of Harrison County. So it's a tornado warning, radar indicated, no confirmation, no funnel cloud, nothing like that has been spotted. But the cool thing with our Defender Radar Network, we can give you so many different views, so many different slices of this storm that we were picking up on the rotation with this and talking about it before the tornado warnings were issued. So this radar will really track these storms no matter where they are across Kentucky. That's why we call it a radar network. So we've got you covered for the entire area. But this storm hopefully is going to get choked off. So that tornado warning will continue for areas north of Sadieville. Sadieville, you're hearing the storm sirens that are going off right now, but the actual tornado warning does not include folks here into Sadieville. It is to the north of that. Folks into Harrison County, your tornado sirens are likely going off too. Folks in Berry, folks in Cynthiana, you're not included in that. It is to the west, right on top of the Scott County line for that possible tornado. We're watching the wires. We're watching social media. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell is over here. Jim, anything coming from the tornado warning that is out there? It is a warning based on radar only.
Yeah, that's the thing, and there's been no indication there's any proof that there's anything on the ground at this point, Chris, either. So it's still, again, all radar indicated as far as where it's concerned, and where it's traveling through, it's not a heavily populated area either. So as it gets closer to the interstate with more people buzzing up and down the interstate, we might see some more information or get more information around that time. But right now, we have yet to see any picture or any other indication that there's anything on the ground. I continue to kind of watch some of these reports. Let me show you again. We'll go back to radar here, and I'll pull up some of the information because we got to watch that circulation, because that's been the area of concern for a little while here. Let me pull up what we have here with our velocity map, Chris, and still showing that general broad rotation there. Again, closing in now on I-75. I mean, right running into it at this point. So what we'll see, if there's anything happening, it's going to be passing over the interstate here within the next few minutes, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And again, the hope is that those thunderstorms that are trying to merge with this particular cell will kind of choke off the flow into it. So it's pulling in air. That's why we saw that inflow notch that caught our attention a little earlier, and that just means it's got a little spin with it. So the tornado warning goes until 6:30, but that includes parts of Owen County, includes parts of Grant County, but the majority of this, in terms of the circulation, is now between Sadieville and Corinth, and it's right on top of Interstate 75. That tornado warning is only going to go for a matter of a few more minutes until 6:30, unless that gets extended a little deeper into the evening. Hopefully that is not going to be the case. But this storm has that little center of circulation with it as it spins right on top of Interstate 75. We're looking for reports. We've got folks who are in the field up here on the move, seeing what they are dealing with. And so far, so good. It is a radar-indicated tornado only. What do we mean by radar-indicated? Anytime you get a tornado warning, it does not mean there is an actual tornado unless it has been sighted, and then you seek cover immediately. You should be seeking cover immediately anyway. Always good to go through the tornado safety checklist, which we can show you as well. The tornado safety checklist, obviously, you want to get to the lowest floor where you live. You want to get into a basement if you have that. A lot of us do not have a basement. You get to the lowest floor. Get yourself in the middle of that lowest floor. Put as many walls between where you are and the outside. Protect your head. And how many times have you heard us talk about protecting your head no matter where you are seeking shelter? Kiddos, good idea to put on some kind of a helmet. And most injuries during severe weather and tornadoes occur because of flying debris hitting folks in the head. So if you got a helmet on, that's going to be some serious added protection. So that's always a good idea. Football helmet, an old hard hat, bicycle helmet, those can come in handy for more than just their intended use. In a severe thunderstorm or tornado situation with flying debris, that may save your life at some point. And again, try to get to the lowest floor. If you're in a mobile home, you get out of there. You go find somewhere else. You get into a sturdy structure. If you can't get to a structure, get to the lowest point in a ditch, ravine. Just watch the water levels if you're going to be seeking shelter in a creek or a ditch, and cover your head and try to get as low to the ground as you possibly can. Because remember, in weather, those winds, the higher up you go, the stronger they are going to be. We've got a whole grouping of thunderstorms here in the northern parts of the region right now with that, again, possible tornado warning or possible tornado here in the northern parts of Scott County, western tip of Harrison County. We're hopeful to get this warning expired as of 6:30. Severe thunderstorm warning looks like it has replaced part of this into Owen County and into southern parts of the Williamstown area of Grant County. Folks in Georgetown, we're looking to our north. We're seeing a lot of flashes of lightning. That is from a different thunderstorm that is around Stamping Ground, right on top of 32. That'll roll its way eastbound on across the interstate here, coming up very, very shortly. Jim, any word yet on whether or not this is going to be extended or allowed to expire coming up here at 6:30? I know we're just a few minutes away from the expiration time on this possible or on this tornado warning.
No, not at this time. At this point, it's just standing as is. They haven't really had any update or new information regarding the actual warning, so we're just watching for that right now. So it stands as is. So that would mean expiration coming up here in about 3 minutes. And I'll throw on the velocity again so you can see what I was seeing over here off camera and getting into a fuzzy area with the radar picture there. I'm going to switch sides here in a second, but it looked like some of the rotation was coming down to some degree. But as you know, when you get to that level, maybe it could be coming literally down. Yeah,
you get it close to, you look at a thunderstorm, you get rotation that's way up in a thunderstorm. That's a better thing to see than rotation that's at the base of a thunderstorm. That means the farther down that rotation is, the better the chance you can squeeze out a funnel cloud or a possible tornado. But again, this does not include Sadieville. Georgetown, it does not include you, even though you're probably hearing the tornado sirens going off here into most, if not all, of Scott County, most, if not all, of Harrison County, hearing the tornado sirens. But the majority of both of those counties are not included in this tornado warning. It literally covers just a matter of a couple of miles here into the far western tip of Harrison and the far northeastern tip of Scott County. Now, here's a little better view. Still got some rotation with this storm right on top of Corinth, and that is crossing on the triple point here. The line of where Harrison County, where Grant County, and where Scott County meets. So that's where we've got our best spin that is ongoing right now. So, Jim, tornado warning going to be allowed to expire? Is that right?
They are going to let it expire at 6:30.
Okay.
No plans on severe or what they're going to do with on out from that, but still a strong storm.
Good to hear. Good to hear that our tornado warning is set to expire here into northern parts of Scott County and into the western part of Harrison County. But again, the chances that this was producing a tornado, low. What we've got to really be on guard for over the next few hours would be the potential for some local high water issues into these areas. We are dealing with a lot of heavy rain, thunderstorms that are moving over the same areas, one right after another. So in addition to that severe weather threat for areas north of Lexington, watch for some flash flooding here into especially Owen County, Grant County, northern parts of Scott County, into Harrison County, folks into Mount Olivet, up toward Maysville and eventually Flemingsburg, Nicholas County, Carlisle. Keep an eye on these storms as well. They're coming in there. The severe weather potential is going to decrease, but the flash flood threat will be on the increase. We'll continue to watch these storms. Tornado warning set to expire in just a few minutes. Keep it right here on WKYT and over on the CW Lexington for the latest coverage on the severe weather.